YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to another video. Shout out to y'all, man. Anyone who is watching my videos, you know what, matter of fact, specific shout out to anybody watching this video right now and they got post noties on. You're a real one if you're watching this video with post noties. I appreciate you. You're a GOAT. You're top five. You're a top 2 and you're not 2. But not for real, man. Y'all are real ones. I appreciate you all. Y'all are GOATs. We're grinding. Got a lot of content coming out. So just be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notices. You don't want to miss an upload. We got new builds coming. We got build reviews. We got tier lists. We got a lot of content coming out. And yeah, just be on the lookout for that. But today we are back with another build. I created this one myself. It's a fire build inspired by Larry Bird. I think you guys are going to like it. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So today we got position, small forward, height 6'9", weight 220 pounds, wingspan 6'9". Like I said, the build is inspired by Larry Bird. Larry legend, dude was different. One of the greatest shooters ever, one of the greatest players ever. You know, there's argument whether he's the greatest scorer ever or Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer ever. And I don't know, but Larry Bird was different, bro. But let's go ahead and hit continue, get into these attributes. I think you guys are going to like this build. It's pretty fire. Up first, we got 86 close shot. So if you guys know Larry Bird, he played under the basket and out at the perimeter. He was really good at finishing with both hands. So I kind of want to make sure he could finish under the basket, shoot some floaters. You know, just a crafty type of player. That's what Larry Bird was. Driving layup, we got an 85. I wanted 85 so you could get some good layup animations. You're going to get physical finisher with this. You're going to get float game and layup mix master on silver. I like this a lot. Got to have some layups. Larry Bird was not that athletic, so I wanted to make sure he could at least lay the ball up, which was something he was really good at, like finishing at the rack via layup. But then you're going to get a 75 drive and dunk. Now, this is probably a little bit higher than it should be for Larry Bird, but Larry Bird was booming on a couple people. He ain't have them hops like that. Like I said, he wasn't super athletic, but he was booming on some people, so I wanted to make sure the build at least got posterizer. We got 75 drive and dunk. You're going to get some good dunk animations with this. 40 standing dunk. I don't know if you need it, but I'm putting it on every build because if someone else comments talking about, oh, you should have put 40 standing dunk in there, I'm going to lose it. So we're going to put 40 standing dunk on almost every build just because of how cheap it is. Now, post control, we got 79. I went 79 because I wanted post fade phenom. But with this, you're also going to get post up poet and you get post powerhouse. Larry Bird wasn't bad at playing with his back to the basket, so I wanted to make sure he had some post moves. And once again, I'm not telling you guys to make this build exactly like this, but you could take this build, use it as a template, and tweak it to your liking to make your own build. This is how I would have made the build. I'm trying to make a Larry Bird build, so this is how I would have made the build, or how I did make the build in my case. But on to the shooting, you're gonna get a 91 mid-range shot. Now, I went 91 because, like I said, Larry Bird is a phenomenal shooter. Wanted to make sure he could shoot the ball. This is something I would cap break. Honestly, I'd probably cap break this up to 93 or 94. Not too sure, probably 93. Most likely, just because you're going to get set shot specialist Hall of Fame, you're going to get Deadeye Gold. You won't get shifty shooter, but I do think 94 is going to make this build very good and versatile. And to go with that 94 mid-range shot, you're going to get 85 3-point shot. Like I said, you're going to have set shot specialist Hall of Fame. You're going to get limitless range. You're going to have Deadeye. You're going to be able to knock some jumpers down with no problem, bro. Shooting is not going to be an issue with this build. Free throw, you get an 80. Now, originally, I was going 85, but I had to take them points away. But 80 is still really good, bro. You're going to be able to knock them down with no problem. So you rec heads can't hate on me. On to the playmaking. We got a 92 pass accuracy. Now, Larry Bird was a wonderful playmaker, and I feel like this is kind of a little bit more than you would need for a Larry Bird build, but this is what I was looking for. A 6'9" that can score at all levels and play make like crazy. So at the 92 pass accuracy, you're going to get Hall of Fame Dimer. You're going to get Gold Break Starter, Silver Versatile Visionary, and Silver Bailout. Really good badges, especially for the passing badges. And then high pass accuracy, you're just going to be throwing some dimes all over the court. Ball handle, you get an 80. Now, this also might be a little high, but I also think 80 is like perfect for Larry Bird. Not a wonderful ball handler, but can handle the ball, can get open himself, and can play off the ball. So I didn't want to give him too much ball handle, and I think 80 was perfect, especially with the build being 6'9" and only be able to get 80. I think 80 was perfect. Speed with ball, we went with the 70. You're going to get lightning launch on bronze. I would probably max +1 tier 1 on this so I could get silver. Just make the build a little bit more viable, a little bit more of an ISO threat. Like I said, Larry Bird was not that athletic. He wasn't too much going around and getting his own bucket, but he could definitely get his own bucket if he needed to. Like, don't get that twisted. He's getting his own bucket if he needs to and when he wants to. But he played off the ball a lot, but he also could get his own bucket and would get his own bucket. So we want to make sure you're able to handle the ball and get a bucket with this build. Now, on to the defense. Larry Bird could hold his own, but he wasn't a great defender. So I wanted to make sure I at least had like good enough defensive stats to be able to play defense. So we got 70 interior defense. Perimeter defense, we got a 75. I like this. I think 75 isn't terrible. It's not the best, but it's definitely going to allow you at 6'9" to be able to play some defense. You're going to get all the defensive badges also on bronze. You guys know how I feel about badges. The more badges you got, the better a build is. So I do like that you're going to get every perimeter defense badge on this build. Now, steal, we got a 73. Now, I wanted to make sure I got silver interceptor. I literally only went with the 73 steal because of that one play he has where he intercepts the ball and they score the bucket. That's literally why I went 73 steal. But I think he needs to have it. I do think he needs to have it. I do like this. It's going to help you out a lot more defensively, having steal on this build. So I was cool with it. I still think it's Larry Bird. I think it's Larry Legend. Now, block, you're going to get 68. I'm not going too much higher than the 68, bro. I wanted to on this build, but it wouldn't have been too much like Larry Bird. So we just went with the base 68. Going to get you pogo stick and the most reliable badge in the game and high flying denier. Trust me, you're going to be able to get blocks on this build. That's not going to be a problem. Now, on to the rebounding. Larry Bird, low-key, was a phenomenal rebounder, bro. So I wanted to try and replicate that the best that I could. And the best that I could do was 50 offensive rebound, but 80 defensive rebound. Going to get you silver rebound chaser, silver box out beast. On this 6'9" build, bro, you're going to grab some boards. You're going to be able to be a small ball big on the threes court. And you could get some boards in the rec, or you could play the twos and have a really small ball lineup, be ISO in the big. The build is very versatile and going to be able to do a lot of things. So I like that I went with the 80 rebound. Like I said, Larry Bird was a great rebounder, bro. Now, on to the physicals. Like I said, again, Larry Bird was not that athletic. He wasn't super explosive. He wasn't super fast, but he was crafty and he knew his way around the court. And he was just like, he's just that, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just know he wasn't that athletic, bro. So speed, we went with 80. At 6'9", I still think that's pretty good. Going to be good for this build. A little bit slower, but you're still going to be quick and be able to move around the court. Now, agility, I went with the 72. Originally, I was going like 75, but I think 72 was perfect. I really just wanted to make sure I had shifty shooter on this build on gold. So I had to go with the 72 agility. Now, strength, we got a 73. Larry Bird wasn't super strong, but I do like the 73. You're going to get strong handle gold. Just enough strength to be able to, like, help out defensively and be able to hold your own in certain places. I like the 73 strength. Vertical, we went with the 67. Reason being, we wanted high flying denier, aerial wizard on silver, and posterizer. Wanted to make sure I had those things with the vertical. Like I said, he wasn't super athletic, but we still want the build to be able to be used in every game mode and be useful, like actually be able to be used. So I like the attributes a lot. I think the build is a lot like Larry Bird. Let's say continue and see what shades we get. And you're going to get shades of Kiki Vandeweghe, Chris Middleton, and Jaylen Brown, a fellow Celtic. I like that a lot. Pretty much like Larry Bird archetypes, because Larry Bird was a point forward and you have built a 3-level scoring point forward. I think this is a fire build. That's a great archetype name for Larry Bird, and it's just got some fire attributes. And you guys let me know in the comment section, is this build fire? Is this build trash? If you think it's trash, let me know why you think it's trash. And if you think the build just needs some tweaking, or you're going to take this build and make it, what would you change on this build to make it more so, make it better, or make it more towards like your play style? What would you do? Let me know in the comment section. With that being said, grading this build from A to F on it being Larry Bird, I'm going to go A. I think the build is very, very close to Larry Bird. There's a couple things that are a little off, but at the end of the day, I think it's super, super close to him. Now, grading this build A to F on being able to use it in every game mode, I'm also gonna give that an A. You can take it to the ones court. You got a little bit of defense. You're gonna be able to get a bucket for sure. And then you can take it to the twos. And like I said, on the twos, you could be the one or the small ball lineup too. You're gonna be able to get a board. You can ISO the big, or you can play the one with the big on the court. You're gonna be able to throw some dots. You got dimer. Going to be a very good playmaker for the twos court and a big build for the twos court. And then the threes, you can play the 1, the 2, or the 3. It's a very, very versatile build. And then the fives, of course, you can play all the way from the 1 through the 4 with a smaller lineup. The build is just fire, bro. I like this build a lot. You can finish, you can shoot, you can handle the ball, you can kind of play a little bit of defense, and you can rebound, bro. What more can you ask for? But that's all I got for you guys today. Once again, let me know how you feel about this build. And if you made it this far into the video, you are a GOAT, bro. You are the realest. I appreciate you guys a lot. Like, if you made it this far. But once again, man, that's all for you guys today. We'll be back with a lot more content, so stay on the lookout. Turn those post notifications on. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.